52-week challenge update. This is what I bought this week in fractional real estate investing. Oh, what's up, YouTube? It's Joe Catchpolia sitting on the couch, making some money investing in fractional real estate online, as usual. So, if you don't know what the 52-week challenge is, I do have a playlist for it on this channel, and you can check that out and understand why we're doing this, why we're sharing. If you already know, jump in the Discord, share what you bought this week, or feel free to put it in the comments. Or, as most people seem to like to do, feel free to keep DMing me through Discord or really anywhere. I would like this to become more of a group discussion, but I still enjoy talking to everybody individually about what they're doing. So, in any case, however you want to do it, feel free to keep doing it. I bought one property on Mogul, five notes on what is it on ground floor, which are the first five LROs I've bought in a little while, and then four properties on Lofty, and two of them are actually kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to talking about those. Anyway, on Mogul, uh, what I think is out of all the properties that I bought, what I think is the best long-term real estate deal from a true fundamentals of the property perspective. Just because I like a deal doesn't mean that you should, though. Do your own due diligence on both the properties and the platforms that I talk about. In the description of this video, I have links to all the places where I currently invest online. But please do your own due diligence on those platforms and also on native properties as you talk about. This is a short-term rental in Dallas, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's been operating there. It's one that they had, I believe, the current owner used it part of the year for a vacation home. So it's one where they don't have perfect trailing numbers to be able to use. And I think, in my opinion, when I looked at Air DNA, it seemed like they were being pretty conservative on what they're going to yield. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Of course, we are going into a recession, or maybe we're not, right? But people think we are, and if that happens soon, I'm a little bit worried about STRs in that scenario. But I'm never trying to predict the future, right? Even though I just said that, that's just the discussion that's happening a lot. It has been happening a lot for a long time. I'm not trying to time it. This to me is a good deal from a fundamental perspective. There's a lot of conservatism built into the structure as far as reserves, insurance, business plan, where they're not, I think they can miss their projections and a decent amount and still be perfectly fine. Relatively low leverage, so I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm excited to see what happens with it. I really love the walrus painting. I think that is the number one reason I bought this one. The next thing, ground floor, is the first time in a while I picked up one, two, three, four, five. I guess I say the first time in a while, but then look, I did get one last week too. I forgot about that. But so five LROs. So now slowly rebuilding the portfolio here. You can see I took a little bit of money off because it's been hard to actually pick up new ones. And because I just really was turned off by what they did there, I'm just going to reinvest a little bit in every single one, see if I can build up that diversified large portfolio. I'd really like over 100 loans if possible. And if not, it's just not because of the short-term nature of these deals. I just don't feel like it's worth it to dig in and do the due diligence that I'd want to do to put a lot of money in each loan. And so I'm going to just keep experimenting with it. I'm trying to reinvest the little bits at a time. If I can build that up again and they don't just sell them out, then maybe I'll go and start adding money back onto here. But as it is, I was if you saw the videos about that, I was pretty disappointed about that moves. If you didn't see the video, I do have a playlist on the channel for ground floor specifically. On Lofty, I bought some more tokens in this one. This is the property on there that I own the largest percentage of. I don't think it's anywhere near the largest dollar amount that I've spent and it's not even, it's about half as many tokens as I have in Odom. Um, this is one, single family home. It is rented. It has a little bit of debt. It's got we've changed managers now twice since I bought it. Um, it needs a new AC, but I still think even with all that, this is really just a value play for me. I think that the price is just, I think we could sell it today and walk away with a good profit. Where it has a tenant in it, we don't necessarily need to do that. But this is one that I like a lot from that perspective. If you saw, I actually did a video about it not too long ago. I think this one would be a sneaky little short-term rental if we wanted to do that too. There's very similar size property, yeah, in that same neighborhood that's doing very well. So there's some, some future upside for this if we ever wanted to do like a little bit more of an active business model. But really, it's just all about it's a very good uh, value play here as far as I'm concerned. And because of how cheap it is, if it does ever start yielding again, I think it'll be a fantastic yield. But if it doesn't, we'll just eventually push for a sale and I think get a pretty big pop on the value. Um, Speaking of which, so this is the Ohio 3 property package that I bought some of. Again, I've been slowly accumulating here. Really only, I think I only got 4 or 5 tokens in this one this week. It's just the price moves so much with every token buy. I've been trying to buy in, around 17, $18, and it doesn't take many tokens to move it up. We do have an offer, or at least a verbal offer. I don't know if they have the actual written offer yet. Um, for the one of these 3 properties they put up for sale. Uh, if we get that sold real quick for the price that they said, I think it'll end up making sense to sell the other 2 as well. I mean, it'll just I think it'll be a good cash out relative to where this token price started. Um, Not a whole lot else to say about that. I think there's a lot of resistance to selling the other 2 from some of the owners, but I don't know, getting a good portion of cash back, like a little chunk back from that sale, and have making the other 2 stable, it could also just really help the token price, and then maybe I sell the tokens. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I like about Lofty, right? You have the option. You can sell in real life, you can sell the tokens. We can get as creative as we want to with the structure. Sometimes that ends up leading to stupid things, but sometimes not. Um, this one I think will be good if we get rid of that one, and we'll be off to the races. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. The next one, this was a really weird one. I bought 1 token in this, and I sold it within a few minutes. This you can see this was really weird. It dropped down to like $15, and I was like, oh wow, that's such a good deal. Let me just go buy one or buy some. But when I put in 10 tokens, the slippage was like $30. So I couldn't buy 10 tokens, so I just kept moving it down until I could buy one. And I think I've ended up actually spending like 17 on it or something. Um, what had happened is the liquidity pool for this, someone had just taken out basically all the USDC. I mean, there had been like I think $1,100 put into that pool originally, and all but I want to say like $60 was in the pool. Like somebody had just taken a whole bunch out, paid the penalty, um, and yeah, so that tanked the price. And so I actually started experimenting with this pool. I was like, well, that's just super weird. So I took whatever cash, I just had a little bit of cash in my Lofty account. I staked it in this pool. So now I think like my cash accounts for probably 80% of the cash on the USDC side. In doing that, it move the price up, right? Is that right? When there was a bunch of cash in there? No, I don't know what happened. Oh, well, maybe it moved it back down a little bit and then no, it moved the price up. And then I sold, a couple other people sold, and then you've gotten a bunch of buys. So this was just really weird. Like I don't understand the price action happening here, right? Like I don't understand why somebody's all of a sudden paying, you know, close to $40. This had been in the 20s for a while. You have to go back to April to get back to the same price that we're at today. Not really sure what's going on there. But like I said, I bought and sold the same day, made a good percent return, like ridiculously good. But I mean, just 1 token because it was creating too much slippage to try to buy any more than that. But I'm experimenting with the pool a little bit again. I haven't really played with the USDC side so much, um, because of how much this price has moved up. It looks like it can already take out most, it's not a very big penalty to take out the cash that I have in there now, which I was surprised by. So I don't know. We'll see. I've been mostly avoiding the liquidity pools, but for whatever reason, I thought this was an interesting opportunity because how somebody, I mean, I think they had to have paid a big a big penalty to remove all the USDC from it. I'm really not sure. I was actually just talking to a couple other people on the platform that know more about the pools that sort of gave me a little bit of insight in it. And then I figured, I just will YOLO a little bit of cash in there. So it wasn't a whole lot at all. Um, but so anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. It is just to see this crazy, how much the price can move just from putting cash in the pool and or taking it out. Like I think that the big tank was really because the money was gone from the pool, right? And then it goes back up just because there's money there to actually pay for stuff. So it is very much not a real estate thing, right? Not because of fundamentals, but I figure if I'm going to trade on this platform and keep doing it, at some point I got to really figure out how the pools work. Um, I don't know. If there's someone who thinks they really get how these pools work and you'd like to be interviewed on here, and and when I say how they work, like I don't mean like I want to be able to say, okay, are there any tips or tricks that we can do around trading that will ensure that we're making more money, that we're not getting. I have so many single tokens trapped in pools, it just drives me crazy. It's in every case, I've sold the rest of them and made enough of a profit that it doesn't really matter that I have one stuck in there, but it's just annoying to see when I scroll through. There's like one token, two tokens. Some of them have more than that too. But all of that stuff, I think it's an extra tool that I could be using if I were a little bit more up to speed on it. At the same time, it feels like a distraction. When I did a video a while back where I was like, I think I'm just going to stop messing with them altogether. Um, and I don't know. The thing that really got me is seeing how big of a move taking USDC out of the pool could move the price, right? Like it wasn't as if nothing had happened to the property that tanked the price. And so seeing that made me really versus like when people are staking tokens or trading, I haven't noticed such a sharp decline before. And then it was also the weirdest slippage I had ever seen, going from like, where like just a few tokens was going to be like, excuse me, $30 in slippage. Um, Sorry, just a weird one. And then the last one, this one I think was awesome. I actually should have opened the pictures here. Let me see if they've got them. This one it's a property I've bought and sold before. I didn't have any tokens of it going into this week. Um, I don't know if you know it was struck by lightning. I don't know how, we just found out about it like a week or two ago that it had been struck by lightning. I'm actually not sure how far back that went. Let's see. Fire damage photos 26 days ago. Oh, this is just one of the pictures though. Oh, no, no, this is okay. So yeah, this is actually some of them, but there are several more that I saw from a link in the Discord. It was struck by lightning. It was burned. I think it's going to be a total teardown. I don't think it makes any sense to rebuild. But in the Discord yesterday, they were talking about, hey, we found out that we're going to get $93,000 in insurance proceeds. That's their initial, proceeds offer, and there's potential for it to go up from there. Well, and then you'd have the lot left over with the burned out structure. Now you probably have to spend some money to demo and the structure, and maybe even have to be a little careful about it because there is, we did have a lead notice when we bought this, so uh, I think that won't really add too much to a demo expense. Sometimes it can really change, like when. I think it won't be a big deal, but it's possible. I know I've seen um, fire demo prices before, and I want to say that lead was not one that really changed the expense by very much to do it, but I'm not 100% positive. We'll have to see. But really, just with the proceeds um, from the insurance and saying like, okay, what if the cost of demo and then we sell the land and that's a wash? Well, I think that we end up with about $42 per token in that situation. Um, and it was I think I bought at 32. I think it was, let me see. I should have bought more when this happened. Yeah, 33.10 was my buy price. So this was just yesterday, and I was gonna buy more, but I bought 10, and then I went and started asking some questions in the Discord, and I should have just bought more first, but I just wanted to really make sure I understood what was happening because this isn't one that I had been following at all. Um, and that's one of the things I think that is really neat about Lofty is and this it popped up enough that like I could actually just sell this for a profit right now, have a good percent return. It's not, I'll do much better if we pay out those insurance proceeds anytime soon. Maybe not from an XIRR perspective, but from a return on time too, right? Like I don't want to just because I could make a couple bucks per token, make 30 bucks, yeah, and be done with it or something. Yeah, it'd be great, but why not just let it sit there and make 60? Like that's one of the things I think I don't talk enough about. Whenever I am talking about XIRR and your return and because it's quick trades, sometimes it doesn't really make sense for me to do some of these things because it's not a very good return on my time, right? I mean, because that's part of it too. Especially like situations like this one, I think I could have probably bought 25, 30 tokens before the price got higher than I'd want to be. Um, because I still want a little bit of cushion in there. I think there's definitely things that could come up that could make it worse. There's certainly also things that could come up that could make it better. They're talking about, hey, do we hire a public adjuster? Can we try to make, can we try to get an increase in what that initial payout, amount that they mentioned was? And I think that's possible. Um, but it's also possible that we discover some unpaid bills we didn't know about or something like that, right? So I always want to have some cushion built into these deals, um, which is why, I wasn't buying up too high until I started, I wanted to get some answers to some things and then other people caught on to, which is unfortunate, right? But it is, it's one of the reasons that I haven't put a lot of money on. I mean, the main reason I haven't put a lot of money on Lofty is I'm not super confident in the platform yet. But even though I have more on there than a lot of the other platforms, I think you kind of have to be able to experiment with it. But one of the things is the more that you put on, the harder it is to actually get the high percent returns because like if I was trying to buy 50 tokens in this, I'd make no money, right? Like I would have pushed it up too high. That's one of the reasons that I'm kind of interested in messing with the liquidity pools a little bit more. Maybe there are some ways for me to, finesse that a little bit where, I mean, I don't really know. Like, I know when I had been staking stuff, if I was going to sell it, I would only unstake a couple at a time and sell them. And I think that made it so, um, the, I think that was better than like unstaking a bunch and then selling them. But, even that, I wasn't 100% sure I was doing that right. Anyway, it is, it's a really big limitation to the platform is that if you're trying to do big deals, like larger sums of money, unless you are just willing to spread it out over months, the only way to really do it is with limit orders, and then you have to find, either somebody has to have listed a limit order, or you have to find somebody who's willing to sell the stuff. Um, you have a whole bunch of buy limit orders there right now. That's interesting. But no sells. So anyway, that's everything that I bought this week. Uh, jump into the Discord. There's a link in the description of this video. Look at the 52-week challenge channel and let me know what you bought. What you were thinking. Did you pick up any of this one? Did you pick up? Did you get any of this dip? I mean, this was only like 5 tokens between here and here. I think this was like ridiculously small, a number of tokens. Um, Yeah, right. So one, two, three, four, five. Five purchases moved that price, that much. I mean, it was just insane. Because I bought here, and then somebody sold right after I staked, and then I sold. Or actually, this one. Yeah, and then I sold it, and then 4 people bought. I mean, like having the price double with that. It just seems it's really hard for me to grasp how like you could profitably trade like large sums of money. Like sometimes I see these people kind trying to make the bigger like deals like the peer-to-peer deals or just like hey I want to buy these put a limit order in there. And it just seems like I don't understand and it's just I don't understand, right? Like the mechanism like why it can't be built in a way that that there's less slippage. I think that the answer is if you just had much larger pools, that you'd have less slippage. But then if you did that, I mean, I don't know what percent of the total, tokens you can put in the pool before it just gets weird, right? Like before, I don't understand why there'd be any limitation. Like, why couldn't we just put all of them in the pool, right? But then, okay, maybe that forces the price down too much. I'm really not sure. Uh, but if you know about that kind of stuff, drop it in the comments or DM me and be like, Joe, you're an idiot. This is how it works. Or like I said, if somebody would like to come on my channel and let me interview them and like they can give me, and I don't want this read the Dodo white paper or whatever. Like I've read it. Like this is just not the stuff. My brain likes real estate and real estate math works perfectly fine. I actually like to build Excel models. Like that sort of stuff is fine for me, but for some reason this stuff is like, it's a little bit too far. I'm not that big of a nerd, so I need a slightly larger nerd than me that's willing to come on here and talk about it. So if that's you, let me know. Anyway, until next time, I'm gonna just keep making mistakes so that you don't have to. Did I say tickle the like button and do the thing with the bell? Hope I did.